Kazakhstan's history is deeply rooted in its geographic location, with human habitation dating back to the Paleolithic era, which spans from 1.5 million to 30,000 years ago. The region's vast steppes facilitated the development of nomadic pastoralism, a lifestyle central to its identity for millennia. By the Neolithic period, early forms of agriculture and animal domestication appeared, marking a shift towards settled communities. Early civilizations and nomadic cultures. During the Bronze Age, from 2000 to 900 BCE, the Andronovo culture emerged, known for its metalworking and cattle herding. The Saka and Masagatai, early Indo-Iranian tribes, controlled the steppes, excelling in horsemanship and warfare. These groups left behind intricate gold artifacts and burial mounds known as kurgans, highlighting their sophisticated material culture. The Turkic period and the spread of Islam spanning from the 6th to the 12th centuries. The region entered a new era with the rise of the Göktürks in the 6th century CE, part of a vast Turkic empire stretching across Central Asia. Turkic languages and culture spread, deeply influencing the region. The Karluks, Oghuz and Kimyks continued to dominate the steppe after the fall of the Göktürk Khaganate, playing a key role in the Silk Road trade. By the 10th century, Islam was introduced, taking root particularly in the southern areas of modern Kazakhstan. Mongol invasion and the Golden Horde from the 13th to the 15th centuries. In the early 13th century, Genghis Khan's Mongol Empire swept across Central Asia. Kazakhstan was absorbed into the Western division, known as the Golden Horde, which maintained control over the region for several centuries. The Mongol conquest disrupted but did not entirely replace the nomadic way of life, and trade through the Silk Road continued under Mongol rule. However, as the Golden Horde fragmented, local khanates began to assert themselves. The Kazakh Khanate, spanning from the 15th to the 18th centuries, was founded in 1465 by Janibek Khan and Kerai Khan. They laid the foundation for a unified Kazakh identity. Under rulers like Qasim Khan in the 16th century, the Khanate thrived, expanding its influence and territory. The Khanate was divided into three major Juzes, or tribal unions: the Great, Middle, and Small Juz, each controlling different parts of Kazakhstan. Despite internal divisions, the Kazakh Khanate remained a major regional power. However, external threats, particularly from the Dzungar Mongols and later the Russian Empire, gradually weakened the Khanate. By the 18th century, Kazakh rulers sought Russian protection, initiating a period of increased Russian influence over the region. The Russian Empire gradually incorporated Kazakhstan throughout the 18th and 19th centuries. Starting with the Small Juz in 1731, the other tribal unions also fell under Russian control over the next century. Russian settlers began to colonize Kazakh lands, often leading to tensions with the local population. The Kazakh nomadic lifestyle was restricted, and the empire implemented policies of sedentarization and agriculture. Notable resistance to Russian colonization occurred during this period, with figures like Kenesari Khan leading revolts in the mid-19th century. However, by the late 1800s, Kazakhstan was fully integrated into the Russian Empire, and Russian influence on the region's culture and economy was extensive. Soviet rule, spanning from 1920 to 1991. Following the Russian Revolution in 1917, Kazakhstan became part of the Soviet Union. Initially established as the Kyrgyz Autonomous Soviet Socialist Republic, later renamed the Kazakh SSR, the region underwent drastic changes during Soviet rule. The collectivization campaigns of the 1930s forced Kazakh nomads into collective farms, causing famine and death for millions of Kazakhs. Stalin's purges further devastated the local population, particularly targeting Kazakh intellectuals and leaders. During World War II, Kazakhstan became a major site for Soviet industry, as factories were relocated from Europe to the steppe. In the 1950s, Nikita Khrushchev's Virgin Lands campaign aimed to transform Kazakhstan into an agricultural hub. Millions of hectares were plowed for grain production, but the campaign caused environmental damage and dislocated local communities. Independence and modern Kazakhstan from 1991 to the present. Kazakhstan declared its independence from the Soviet Union on December 16, 1991, following the collapse of the USSR. Nursultan Nazarbayev, the first president, led Kazakhstan through a period of post-Soviet transition. The country pursued market-oriented reforms, privatizing state assets and attracting foreign investment, particularly in its rich oil and gas sectors. Kazakhstan's foreign policy has focused on multi-vector diplomacy, maintaining balanced relations with global powers like Russia, China, and the West. The country joined several international and regional organizations, including the United Nations, the World Trade Organization, and the Eurasian Economic Union. In 1997, the capital was moved from Almaty to Astana, later renamed Nur-Sultan in 2019 to honor Nazarbayev, symbolizing Kazakhstan's forward-looking development. Nazarbayev resigned in 2019, succeeded by Kassym-Jomart Tokayev, marking the first peaceful transition of power since independence. Cultural and social developments. Kazakhstan is a multi-ethnic nation, with Kazakhs constituting the majority, alongside significant Russian, Uzbek, and Ukrainian minorities. Kazakh is the state language, while Russian remains widely spoken. The revival of Kazakh culture since independence has seen a resurgence of traditional music, art, and festivals. Although Kazakhstan is a secular state, Sunni Islam is the predominant religion, alongside a sizable Russian Orthodox community. Conclusion. Kazakhstan's history reflects a dynamic interplay of nomadic tradition, external influences, and modernization. From its early Bronze Age cultures to its current status as a leading player in Central Asia, Kazakhstan has adapted to the challenges of a changing world while maintaining its unique cultural identity.